Up and let's go out to the D&M Leasing Hotline to talk to All City Sports, Clarence Hill. Clarence, I appreciate you taking time on a Monday. Hopefully you got a good start to your New Year's. How you feeling today after the Cowboys season is finally over?
Hey, man, I'm still watching football, man. I'm watching this football game over in Frisco on, this North Dakota State, Montana State game, man. But no, it's, we got a weekend of football coming up. With starting on Thursday with the college games, and you got a weekend of wild card games, and of course we got a week of coaching searches, coaching news, and Mike McCarthy talk. It never stops. Certainly last night, Cowboys season ended. Jerry Jones did not make a commitment on what he's doing, Mike McCarthy, and of course today he's already getting calls by the Chicago Bears.
And, yeah, let's dive right into the heat of that. When you hear that the Bears are interested in a Mike McCarthy, are you shocked by that, taken aback, and kind of how do you think the Cowboys will deal with someone else wanting to interview their coach?
Yeah, and I think that's it. I don't know if he'll end up with Chicago. There's so many other names out there, and everybody's just getting started. And, the Jets seem like they're interviewing about 20 people. They've asked everybody and their dogs for permission to be interviewed, and we'll see how that goes. Certainly the Bears are looking at a number of different guys, but, they need some stability, and they need some stability for their quarterback. They got a young quarterback, and Mike McCarthy certainly is someone who will give them that. I know Jerry Jones wants to take his time, so to speak, and go through the week and analyze the season because the hay's been in the barn, as he said. I don't know what's left to analyze, but and decide what direction you want to go in. Certainly Mike McCarthy's got a contract. They got to negotiate with his agent and everything else if they certainly want to go forward. But certainly team is expressing interest, and I know the Bears did, and I'm pretty sure that the Saints, where Mike McCarthy actually had his first job as offensive coordinator, will probably do it at some point, request to speak with McCarthy. I think that those things are going to mess up Jerry Jones' convenient timeline to step in and take his time to go through this process. See, they need to get to some conclusion for McCarthy, for the rest of the coaches, and we'll see how this plays out.
Clarence, and you kind of took the words right out of my mouth. This is actually from a fan's perspective and from our perspective, being on the outside looking in, I think that the Bears and these other teams asking for permission actually helps expedite this process a little bit because now Jerry's got to figure out what he wants to do because if he lets them go ahead and interview, doesn't that kind of hurt his leverage a little bit?
Well, to me, it kind of opens the window into their soul.
Yeah.
You have an exclusive negotiating right now, okay? Mm-hmm. If you want to keep McCarthy, you're not going to let him talk to other teams. Mm-hmm. If you let him talk to other teams, then you're telling me you're willing to let him walk. So, right now we don't know. The Bears have asked for permission. Again, the Cowboys have not necessarily yet given permission. Once they give permission, and they certainly will talk to McCarthy about it, I think it's part of the conversation. Jerry was very emboldened last night. Well, I don't want anybody that doesn't want to be here. They want to look at other teams, and I don't want anybody that don't want to be here. Well, I wouldn't want to be here, but do you want me? And if you don't want me, then I need to find a place I can go to where somebody wants me. So it's kind of a twofold situation. But yeah, that's where we are. We'll see how this all plays out, and certainly if they allow Mike McCarthy to talk before he has the exclusive negotiating window with the Cowboys until January 14th. If they allow him to talk before then you're allowing him to go out the door, and you're saying that we don't necessarily are not committed to keeping him away from other teams. And if you do and you don't let him talk, then let's make it happen, get a deal done.
You're listening to Clarence Hill, All City Sports. Clarence, last one on the McCarthy. Just from your perspective, do you think that McCarthy's got a fair shot, a fair shake at it this year, and should be brought back if you were in charge?
Well, to me, Jerry painted himself in a corner because we talked to him at training camp last year, and you don't give him a contract extension at 12-5. The reason he said he didn't give him a contract extension after last season was because of what happened in Green Bay. And what happened against Green Bay, not in Green Bay, but what happened against Green Bay. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you don't give him a contract extension after Green Bay and now give him a contract extension after 7-10. I know the Cowboys set him up for failure because, they didn't really do a lot of things in the personnel department to give him the best chance. I know there were a lot of injuries. But how do you sell it going forward to the fans? And how do you sell that we're going to have change, we're going to take it to the next level? I mean, officially you're 29 years since your last Super Bowl title in 1995. You know, you bring him back, what's going to change is going to get you out of this vortex of maybe getting to the playoffs but not being good enough to get to the Super Bowl. So I just don't know how you have a leg to stand on as far as selling it to the fan base and getting changed. So I think it's time to move on.
Clarence, when you look at the needs of this football team, and of course, again, we still got to figure out what's going to happen with the coaching staff, personnel-wise, what would be number one on your list as far as what this team needs to address?
Oh, my God. I mean, they're running back, receiver, cornerback. I mean, they got a lot of needs. They still need another edge rusher. They need help on the defensive tackle. They need help at offensive line. Are we talking about a draft? Are we talking free agency? How are we?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you think? I mean, how do you see this thing playing out? Because my gut tells me, and again, you've been covering this team a lot longer than I have, and I asked the question to Jerry yesterday. I said, hey, if All In was the mantra for 2024, what's the mantra for 2025? And then he just rehashed his line about, well, we went all in on Dak and CD. Isn't that enough?
Well,
and it's like, what's that mean?
And I was there for the initial All In, and he's parsing or he's trying to rephrase or reshape the All In, because All In was not about re-signing your own guy.
Right.
You know, it was about going all in to do what it takes to, you know, to do better than Green Bay and put a Super Bowl win on the field or get a team that can contend in the playoffs. And that means going all in on your roster and adding players to be winners, not re-signing your own guys and running it back. And they didn't even run it back because they lost a lot of guys in free agency that they didn't replace. So, you know, committing to Dak and major contracts is not necessarily the spirit of All In, as he initially said. And I heard the quotes and I saw, you know, him talking last night about that. Certainly, that's how he's trying to spend it. And certainly, he has spent the money with Dak and CD. He's certainly spent the money and will spend the money, I think, with Micah. You know, but are you going to do what it takes to take this team to the next level? And again, they need a running back. I'm sorry. I like what Rico's done, but they need a difference maker back there. They need a receiver opposite CD. They need help at pass rushing. I think that because there's, you know, so much you can get running backs in the draft, and you know, I would look at a weapon opposite CD. That's a huge need. I think that certainly you can do some things in free agency to fix the offensive line, at least bolster what you're doing up there. But a difference maker, a playmaker, because it's been CD and a bunch of maybes for the last couple of years. They need somebody they can count on opposite CD.
Clarence here, All City Sports. Clarence, did you see enough from Trey Lance to feel comfortable about bringing him back as your backup quarterback, or are you still in TBD land with Trey?
I mean, I think that we're grading Trey on a curve. You know, and everybody said, oh, look what Trey did, you know, and everybody's all cute little Trey, so to speak, in the game he had. But if I'm trying to win football games, and generally when you lose your quarterback for 8 to 10 games, your season's pretty much over. Your Super Bowl hopes are pretty much over. You're looking for a guy who can win games when your quarterback's got 2 or 3 games. To me, that's still Cooper Rush. If that's your quarterback, you need somebody to hold the fort together. That's Cooper Rush. You know, you're not looking for a quarterback for the future. You're looking for somebody that can maintain things and win games. That's still Cooper Rush. You know, and now both are free agents. What's going to be easier for you to negotiate and go forward with that? That's a question. But I'm still on the Cooper Rush bandwagon. I'm looking for a backup, a stopgap backup and stopgap starter if Dak Prescott missed 2 or 3 games.
Do you miss the old days where when a Tyreek Hill said he wanted to, you know, when he threw his name out, hey, I want to be a Dallas Cowboy, or that the threat might be there, that he could be a Dallas Cowboy, and the Cowboys would be, you know, potentially a legit landing spot. Now we're just hoping that they fill up, you know, their wide receiver 4 spot at this stage of the game. Are we ever going to see anything different with the way this new kind of direction the Cowboys have taken over the last 4 or 5 years?
I think that's the major point when we look at coach, and I think they should look at different coach, but it really doesn't matter who you get at coach if you're not changing your ways in free agency and really improve, doing what you can to help supplement what you do in the draft and get this team over the top. It doesn't matter what you do at coach if you're not going to change how you handle free agency and what you're doing. And so, yeah, I mean, I tweeted last night, Trey, not Trey Lance, but, go get Tyreek Hill. Go get Tyreek Hill. Certainly Michael Parsons was on that bandwagon today. Go get Tyreek Hill. You look at his contract, he's only committed for $10 million next year. His base salary is $10 million next year. And there's a $29 million the following year as far as the salary cap, but next year is $10 million. Find a way to do something. And really, if you want to excite the fan base, regardless of who you get at coach, you want to bring Mike McCarthy back, you want to get another guy. What will really excite the fan base is you get a coach or you bring Mike McCarthy back, but you go get somebody like Tyreek Hill. Do something. Do that Deion Sanders type move you did when you Garrett, tried to get them back to the Super Bowl in 1995.
Well, Clarence, it was a pleasure as always. I appreciate you taking time out on a Monday. Great stuff. Where can the people find you on the social medias if they're not already tuned in with Mr. Hill?
Oh, yeah. Clarence Hill Jr., Clarence Hill Jr., all together on Twitter. That's me, and I'm at All City DLLS. That's my website for the All City DLLS Cowboys website. I'm sorry.
Anything exciting coming up for the offseason for the Dallas Cowboys that you got planned?
No. Obviously Senior Bowl, Super Bowl, following this coaching search, and my immediate interest is Friday night. Cotton Bowl.
Let's do it. Well, I appreciate you.
I'm in the house.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. We'll let you get on with your Monday night.
Stay warm, my friend.
Stay warm out there. Don't freeze your pipes.
All right. Thank you, baby.